and let nobody deceive you. A plea bargain means you are guilty.
Oh,
go and read. So let me teach you law. So let me teach you. I've heard this narrative you are pushing. Go and read section 1628 of the amendment. It says that, please learn, please, I beg. If you want.
Please.
So then allow me. I don't like the way you are doing. So allow me. I'm not speaking to you. Sarah, I'm not enjoying this. I heard you allow me. What's your problem?
Yes.
Allow me. I heard you say, I didn't do rain. What's your problem? Allow me. We are not speaking to you. If anybody... A young man, Dennis, I don't wish him bad. But you see, when you elect, say why you are here, it's not as if some of us are more intelligent than you. But you've chosen to live a private life. Like my brother Kwame. If you decide to join us in public office, be ready. That must be said to account for your stewardship. That must be said. In fact, in accounting for it, any day you could be arrested or you could be called to give a certain whatever to an enforcement agency. At the moment, I'm not sure MPP is even asking us to go into the matter because we won't join them there. Trust me, the matter is not ending today. Let them, and I'm telling you, I've given you an example with Wuntumi. They thought that Wuntumi. Now he's pleading. A plea bargain is a plea. Begging. No matter how you look at it. Otherwise, let's go through the trial. See, and let nobody try to blackmail Ramonacha. What hasn't he seen? He will do his work.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them, yupo.
You do not even know the principle our brothers and sisters in MPP actually operate with. You do not know. What is really their issue? But to answer your question, Dari, before I deal with the matters, if you read the Yoko statement very well, they told you they've been on this for a while now. But some development was found. They got, and I need not tell you, even if I've heard something. Don't forget, this is an investigative body. You don't expect them to put out everything. In fact, they are not even mandated under the law to put out anything. It's only for proper governance. There is no law that mandates Yoko to come and tell you everything they are doing. You are a lawyer. The only provision that relates arrest is Article 14.2. Inform the person why he's been arrested, his right to counsel. Not his right to inform political party operatives. No. So this thing, I saw lawyers in MP who are not miracle Abuaji's lawyers, so to speak, write on social media that we cannot have access to him as what? Until the afternoon or late afternoon of Monday, who even knew that Atachian was his lawyer? And then my very good friend, what's his name? Your director, Gary. So they said they've been on this for a while. Some development happened, and they had to move. That's why they did the stop, whatever. And they need not tell you. And if you go further in the statement, they said that after they got hold of him, he has aided them. They had to do some searches, and they were on it. If you read the statement, so it's not as if they got him and then he was just lying and then watching their face, and they also watching. No, they've done some work. So it was for a purpose. His arrest was actually, of course, if they needed to do a search somewhere, they would not inform you that we are coming tomorrow. They would not have to. There is a reason they invited him at the first instance. There is also a reason they decided to arrest him now. Now, for me, the issue is not really about the arrest because they have powers of arrest. It is not the first time. And he was quick to say that we will be quick to refer them to what has happened before. Once he concedes, I will not bother to go back. In this country, look, our current majority leader, Mahama Yarga, was virtually sleeping in Yoko office every day. In fact, my senior was his lawyer, Misa.
But this is what the reset agenda is
about. So you see, yes, I'll come to the reset. But let nobody try to deceive the people of Ghana as though there is something new happening. If it is an issue, you see, I would have gone for them. Look, they almost say, When I heard all this, I was asking myself questions. And on some shows, I've raised very legitimate issues. Did Miracle request the presence of a lawyer before the search? Did Yoko oblige him? These are questions you can ask. And if they didn't, it will be unconstitutional, because at the point of arrest, any process you take him through, he has a right to counsel. But Miracles is out. He is not speaking to that, as though he is not saying that he was denied access to his self-appointed lawyer. He's not said that. And I said it before that I would be waiting to hear from Miracles, because these are the matters that indeed must be looked at within the remits of the law. As for the arrest, nobody can, and I'm surprised for you to. It is because of the way they are putting the narrative that the mere fact that Yoko arrests somebody means what? You said what? The government is doing whatever to your people. So that's what you were doing to the NDC folks who were arrested during your tenure.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so if the issue is not the arrest, and I would have gone with you if the issue was about the breach of his constitutional rights. So Miracles to date has not said he was denied access to a lawyer. I haven't heard him say that. So that matter, his lawyers cannot have access, Yabutu, because Miracles himself is out and has not said that. Now the other issue is this. What is really the issue with Miracles? And who is Miracles Abuaje for the entire government machinery to go after him? For what?
He's a
what?
critic of the
And he's the only critic of.
But well, they don't only cite Miracle. They give a. They mention. Who? Oh, he. Do you want me to?
Whatever bar.
He mentioned.
Whatever bar.
Abronye DC.
But that's not his or her name.
Who else did you mention?
I've mentioned Adenta Kumi. I've
Adenta
mentioned
Kumi.
Obama. I've mentioned Wood to me.
Sewa, hold on. Until his arrest, did you even know Adenta Kumi?
You didn't know him. That's not necessarily.
Did you know him? Hold on. I'm not asking you, please. He's your party person. I'm trying to, please, allow. You said a lot of things. Allow
to use the law.
You are talking law. Have you spoken one law which has been breached?
You are the lawyer, so you must know.
That is where I'm coming.
How Adenta Kumi was arrested. You. Forget that you are representing.
Yes, I
NDC.
agree. Please let him.
You said a lot of things. Please allow. Okay. No law has been breached. No law was breached when Adenta was arrested. No law was breached. And this, if one decides to learn about it, it will be helpful. Power of arrest lies with those institutions. And when they arrest you, you have certain rights under 14.2 of the Constitution. Those rights, we have not been told that were breached by the person. You see even the irony here.
But senior, one of the things they say, they complain about is that these institutions set very erroneous bail conditions.
No, you come to bail. Arrest first. Hold it. You see, a step at a time. The people are saying that the arrest for starters, the arrest is unlawful. I thought he said that.
Yeah, but then they say, okay, since you want us to go start with the arrest, so before,
I mean, I am not here as a lawyer. I'm here as a commentator.
Absolutely.
But he is bringing in the law. Quote me which law describes a certain arrest as unlawful. Please. Before.
I will. I'll let him come in, but let me ask a question.
I'm not here to answer your question.
Then allow me speak.
Then allow me speak. I am here to answer questions.
Then allow me speak.
Even, political commentators, think tanks have said that. Some of the things you have arrested some of the people for, they can pass as defamatory. And it should be a civil matter. But you are arresting people for passing comments, for, posting pictures, for insulting people. And these are not matters, they are not criminal matters that they should be arrested.
Lawyer, Sewa,
I'm also not here in my capacity as a lawyer.
But we need to educate. So if you look at our criminal code, section 208-209, what does it say? Offensive conduct, which has been used. Apia Stadium was arrested in.
Are we not using the offensive conduct to
No. It's you don't sit here and determine that.
I'm asking you.
No, so let me. Whoever is saying it.
Yes, I'm only asking you.
It is
because concerns have been raised. Maybe we should look at that section 208.
No, so until it is looked at, until then, it is part of our laws.
So the people who
we
said
can, but
Apia
that's
Stadium should not have been arrested then. Which
hold
is
it.
you.
Maybe you see, please allow me, because you see there is this misconception. Hold it.
Then you make your point.
The point I'm making is that with the offensive conduct and then all that, the matter here is that it is part of our laws in the meantime. If at some point, and I agree, we may have to look at it, but today, it's part of it. It was used under the antenna. They should not make the thing look as though, appear as though it is a new thing that is being used against anybody. It is part of our laws. In fact, when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was the Attorney General, and he pushed for the criminalization of the what do you call it, criminal libel, he saw 208. He saw 209. They didn't do anything about it. Do you understand the point? So it is part of our laws. And if today we should all come together and do something about that law, of course, we can amend it. And I would go for it if we have to. But in the meantime, instead of you pushing for an amendment or a repeal of it, you are saying that it is not, and even though it's in our laws, you are saying whatever is happening is unlawful. Which shouldn't be, because it's part of our laws. It's not unlawful. Indeed, a lot of people suffered it because it's part of our laws. And you see, it doesn't lie in anybody's bosom unless he's a judge to say this one qualifies under this or this one qualifies under that. There is a thin line between defamation and then the offensive conduct. Because you see, with the offensive conduct, if whatever you said has the potential to disturb our peace and order, it comes under 209, 208. And so that is what we should know. If today, and that is the point I have been making to our brothers, that look, if today we think that Yoko has not served us well, let us all come together. But it's not as if Yoko is doing anything different. They have been complaining. And that's why I said I don't understand the principle they operate with. So what, these are the same people. Just a few days ago, when a competent court of jurisdiction puts a bail condition on whose head? Was it Abronye or who were arrested? You had the minority leader, the kind of words he put on the judge. So where do you stand? Should it be Yoko or the court? You are not. It is only when it suits you. Yesterday you criticized judges for putting onerous bail condition. Go and check the kind of words they use on judges. And today they are saying that in their case they only put you to the court. Now it's Yoko. Yoko has a mandate. If they didn't do it yesterday and they are doing it now, do you call that unlawful? Nobody. Look, Opuni's assets were frozen by Yoko for all that period. Yoko performed some quasi-judicial functions as and when. If they do and you are aggrieved with whatever they've done, the law allows you, it's, of course, to go to the High Court and have it reviewed or whatever. A legal problem is solved with a legal solution, not a political one. The noise will not change anything. Indeed, I remember that Bono gentleman who was arrested and the bail was so according to them, onerous, and they said all things to the judge. What's his name? That Bono gentleman.
Baba Mandu.
Yes. They said all kinds of things against the judge. Eventually, they went to the court to have it, varied. So that is what we do. Now, the issue of, let me just put out one question, just that. I have always resisted the temptation of going into this matter, but to look at the issues of the arrest and the bail. But you see, for what Miracles is saying and the narrative that is put there, let me just ask a simple question. How is it possible for an entity who has a head, I'm talking of the decentralization committee he headed, and we say that whatever, it's not even the case, it's not true, that it is, the payment is based on an investigative, an Auditor General. They've not cited any page in the Auditor General's report. They've been putting this narrative, it's not true, I can say. But if they do have, they should point out which page said that the gentleman was surcharged and he had to pay. It's not true. It is based on what the gentleman, the current executive secretary, petitioned, and the gentleman was called by Yoko together with Miracles, and the gentleman started paying. But granted that it's even inconsequential. Give me the page number of the that report. You see, it's even inconsequential. The question I ask is, how is it possible that the head of an entity sits there and then an accountant? Are you saying the accountant is the only one that signs checks? It's a question I'm asking. I've resisted the temptation. And you see, let's be careful. This is how they started with Wontumi. Because he's a critic of the system, because he is this, and then Wontumi has done nothing. In fact, Wontumi's first lawyer was Godfrey Dame, the former Attorney General. I have my own opinion about the way the respected former Attorney General has been handling himself post, office. I'm not talking law, I'm talking moral. I personally feel it's never happened in this country. A former Attorney General, yes, you can still practice, but you have to be careful. Now, Wontumi is out there seeking a plea bargain. And somebody tells me that he was unlawfully, whatever, because he was a critic. Why is he asking for a plea bargain? And let nobody deceive you. A plea bargain means you are guilty.
Oh,
Go and read.
come on.
So let me teach you law. Go and, so let me teach you. I've heard this narrative you are pushing. Go and read section 162H of the amendment. It says that, please learn, please, I beg. If you want.
Please.
So then allow me. I don't like the way you are doing. So allow me. I'm not speaking to you. Sarah, I'm not enjoying this. I heard you allow me. What's your problem?
Yes.
Allow me. I heard you say, I didn't do it. What's your problem? Allow me. We are not speaking to you. If anybody wants to read the law, you should go and check section 162H. I've mentioned it to you, of that amendment. The court is even mandated to ask you to plead guilty before it moves on. The amendment to
I'm coming to check it now.
No, what's the name of that amendment? That law we passed. So if this is how,
please,
this is so unfair.
Please.
Who are you?
Please please let's.
What do you think? We sat here and heard all kinds of things you said. What's the meaning? Is that how you
Section
communicate? 162 of the Plea Bargain Act. Yes, that's the law I'm referring to. Read Plea Bargain Act 160.
Okay, go ahead. I'll find
this
it. Yeah.
Narrative being pushed at that he may decide to, and from senior lawyers. I met one on Newsfire. I pointed out to him that it's not true, and Samson read it to him. This narrative that the fact that he pays means he's not guilty. Who told you that? Read the amendment. In fact, the 162 kicks in after conviction. This law only comes in after conviction, and so the court is mandated. You read the 162 if you have of the plea bargain. The H.
I'm looking for it, but go ahead.
So you see, what we do, this is how they started. Wontumi has done nothing. He is free. People are only jealous of him because he has money. And that he's a critic of that. Today, Wontumi is asking for a plea bargain with the Exim Bank thing and has gone through the trial for in respect of the Galamsey thing. And he's awaiting judgment. So you see, this is how they do it. When the issue is like this, they try to put in the political twist just to blackmail, and it will not. And the worst I've heard is this, that when tables turn, tables just turn. We were in this country, nobody died. That blackmail will not wash. If anybody does anything, and you come to power in 20 to 30 years' time, whatever, when you come, call the person, and work within the law, as is being done now. So far, I've not heard of anybody, I've not heard a single person who has been able to point out one law with a quotation which has been breached. No law has been breached. So, if it is about the onerosity of the bill, our legal system admits that. If you think that it is onerous, you go a step further and have it varied. We do it all the time. That doesn't make it unlawful. Because you see, usually, in determining bail, if in practice, and you know this, it is about the charge that is put on you. They look at how much is involved because they will not give you a lesser, bond on your head where you may even run away. And if we have to go after the properties that has been, put on.
So I think I have, okay. Yes, I found this 162H.
Please read.
The court shall not accept a plea agreement unless the court is satisfied that A, the accused person is of sound mind, B, the accused person entered into and signed the plea agreement voluntarily, and C, there's factual basis for the plea agreement. Two, yes, I'm getting there. Where the court accepts a plea agreement, the court shall call on the accused person to plead to a charge in the plea agreement. Where the accused person pleads guilty to a charge, the court shall record the plea and convict the accused person.
So you are even a convict. In fact, when you, with a plea bargain, you are a convict. Please read further.
4. Where the accused person pleads not guilty, the court shall treat the plea as a withdrawal from the plea agreement.
And proceed with the trial.
And make an order for the trial of the accused person on the original charge.
And proceed with the trial. So this whole, I don't know why people would push this narrative. In fact, when you go for a plea bargain, you are a convict. It is only the sentence that changes from a custodial sentence to whatever has been agreed between you and the Attorney General. So I don't know where this narrative came from. So if you are not guilty, go through the trial. That's essentially what this means. So the court would make sure, and let nobody, I was also told by someone that you could be put, so some of them, it's under pressure. If it's under pressure, the court will not even accept it. Undue influence and all that. So, look, a young man, Dennis, I don't wish him bad. But you see, when you elect, say why you are here, it's not as if some of us are more intelligent than you. But you've chosen to live a private life, like my brother Kwame. If you decide to join us in public office, be ready. That must be said to account for your stewardship. That must be said. In fact, in accounting for it, any day you could be arrested or you could be called to give a certain whatever to an enforcement agency. I am only worried that, you see, what we do to this country often is to throw out the facts and put a certain narrative, pursue the narrative, and it's as though something is happening beyond the truth.
Okay, I have a question for you and Kwame. You know, this issue also raises the same fundamental question I had about the Hanan case. That where there's a forensic audit about an institution and there's an irregularity found in that institution, does our system set up the most visible person to be gone after? Or we have to look at the problem as a whole? Because in this case, it is the institution that has misappropriated funds, right? The irregularity was found with the institution. But the person, the executive secretary, the misappropriation.
Where do you think that came from? As far as you are concerned, nobody has told you where it came from. Nobody. As a government, I can tell you, we have not said anywhere that we are operating on the basis of finance of Auditor General. Have we said it anywhere?
Okay, but
so you don't know the source of our information, for which reason they are being investigated. Because Yoko is telling you that they have further information. Is it from the Auditor General? Please, it is their narrative that the Auditor General's report. We haven't said that. So please, there are things I know, but I will not put out here.
Okay.
I'm saying that what at the moment, I'm not sure MPP is even asking us to go into the matter because we won't join them there. Trust me, the matter is not ending today. And I'm telling you, I've given you an example with Wuntumi. They thought that Wuntumi. Now he's pleading. A plea bargain is a plea. Begging. No matter how you look at it. Otherwise, let's go through the trial. It's a simple thing. You are begging. That I beg. I want to settle.
So you have enough information that will be able to secure...
You don't expect him to put here.
I'm not asking you. That will be able to secure a conviction because we have seen this cycle.
At least the state will make its case. He will defend himself because I don't know what he also has. But there is a case for him to answer.
Senior, you know why I asked that? Because, it appears there's a trend.
Yeah.
So a party takes over, wild allegations are made, arrests are made. Arrests, I'm not talking, that's why I said that this question is not only directed at you.
You finish.
So when I say a party takes over, I don't mean the NDC. Both parties. There's a change in government. There are allegations made, arrests are made, erroneous bail conditions are set. There's all sorts of things are thrown into the air. And most of the time, we struggle to even secure a conviction. Then there's a change of government. Then a nolle prosequi will be filed. And we seem to have like a trend. And my question is, because you said there's enough information, I'm asking if there's enough evidence to actually secure a conviction, or we are just going through the same trend once again.
So this is it. At the moment, it is still under investigation. Even though the state has what it has.
Okay.
But you see, let me tell you this, not under this era. Now, distinguish between the 207, 208 of the criminal code, the offensive conduct, and from financial cases.
Okay.
Do you get it? There is a difference.
Okay.
So not every arrest, we are not talking about all arrests. Some are related to offensive conduct, that's different. And the Attorney General has a policy. If you've watched him, people may not like it. But his style is that after every investigation, before he moves to court, he will brief the the citizens, what he is in for. Immediately he does that, he files. And you see, this is a criminal trial. Look, as we speak, the judgment of wound to me would have been ready. But today, the same people who are pontificating as though you are just putting something on our head, as if there is nothing, and you are doing this, you are doing that. Are the people delaying? They filed this today, they filed this tomorrow. A lawyer who is virtually done with the case now files that I'm not interested. We've never heard this before. In my short years of practice, I've never heard it. After you are done with the matter, judgment awaits you, say, I won't do the case again. I've never heard it. Now, they brought in a new lawyer who we are hearing that in his submission, legal submission to the court, he moves to the Supreme Court to have the judgment, stored. Then order. Essentially, the state has been able to look at the cases of what's his name, the National Service, and then the NIB, Dubois. Most of the cases, the state has successfully proved its case, and you know it. That's why when they file submission of no case, often, and in this era, there is no submission of case of no case that the court has, ruled in their favor. All submission of no case has been ruled against them. It's been dismissed. And in fact, sometimes they even appeal, and the Court of Appeal dismisses it. During their era, when Worsened was being tried, the High Court ruled that he had a case too. Of course, they dismissed the submission of no case. When he went on appeal, the Court of Appeal said, no, there is no case to answer. You remember? Even Godfred Dame also said he was appealing at the Supreme Court. I don't know what has become of it. So you can distinguish between somebody who is actually being prosecuted. Why? The aura. Are they not the same people who are telling us that we deceive the people of Ghana? And that we said a lot of things, and we are Attorney General, as I know him, and his deputy, very diligent. They will never go to court if they are, at least in the medium, they will never go to court if they are not convinced that there is a case to answer. So at the moment, and you see, finally, this point that you should take the person to court and then all that before. No, you see, if anybody understands how our jurisprudence works, you don't just go to court and then have the person either admitted to bail or whatever. You have to file processes. Because even with the bail, if anybody is concerned with our criminal justice, you have to go through. There will be a case called, the person will be brought in the docket, you will tell the court, and so you file a charge sheet. Let me put it bluntly. You still have to file a charge sheet, whether it would be, how do you call it, in the interim charge sheet or whatever. Some do. They'll file a certain charge sheet. I've seen it in my practice. And then to have the court determine the liberty of the person, whether admitted to bail or not. And then later they file something else. This is not the style of the current Attorney General. Once he files, we move. And so, at the moment, the man was arrested, and less than 24 hours, people started, lawyers, writing that release, what do you call it? Was a miracle. When the 48 hour was nowhere near. The Yoko did what they did, and they assured that they would work within the law. Before 48 hours, they admitted the gentleman to bail. Only that the gentleman could not fulfill the bail conditions by the 48 hour whatever. After the 48 hours, he fulfilled it, and he is free, at least in the interim. This, I'm saying, and let nobody try to blackmail Raymond Archer. What hasn't he seen? He will do his work. If he does anything that is unlawful, and that is why I've asked the question, that why is it the case that Miracles Abuaje opted for a specific lawyer and Yoko denied him? If Miracles says that, then we have a case. And I would declare that as unconstitutional. But in the meantime, Miracles has not said anything like that. And I will go for the fact that Yoko has done everything within the law. And I see nothing wrong with it. Miracles would have his day in court one day, and then he will prove his case. If he is innocent, he goes his way. If he needs to pay for anything in terms of whatever punishment will be given him if he's eventually convicted, that we move on as a country. Nobody. If it is only one person who seeks to occupy President Mohammed's, seat, it is only Bawumia in their party. And so if we want to actually go after somebody who is of that caliber of President Mohammed, it is Bawumia we will call, and not Miracle.
So people who are aligned, like myself, when I was a young kid in Bantama, I could hear demonstrations going on. I would join because I'm aligned. My family is aligned. So I wouldn't have to know the exact problem. No, because
you don't want to. Assuming that someone, has been caught stealing.
Yeah.
Which in this case Dennis has been accused of misappropriating, diverting funds, together with the former accountant of the same institution. You don't care whether he did it or not. You are just there. In fact, you don't even want to know what he did or what he did not do. That's what usually happens.
No, there's a distinct between what you just said. You started with saying someone has been caught. Dennis has not been caught of stealing. And if you push me, I'm really, really sad. And I come here this morning with a really heavy heart. Because what this government is doing. They are treating some of our leaders as common criminals. I say this because this has been happening. I've seen mothers cry. An example is Dennis Abuaje's miracles. I've seen or witnessed wives panic. Adenta Kumi as an example. I've seen children trembled because of the Rambo-style incarceration. Say Obama is my example. I've seen supporters of our party, people who are aligned to our ideologies, shaking because of the treatment the NDC government have subjected some of our leaders to. I can cite Wontumi and other people. The young grassroots of the party have also been shaking because of the treatment, Fanti Comedy, Baumiaba, and all the TikTokers. And so, if this government continue to terrorize its political opponent, take Miracles Abuaje aside, it is actually, I don't know whether it's deliberate, but most progressive people think that what Mahama 2.0 is doing is deliberate degrading or derailing all efforts chalked under the 1992 Fourth Republic. Dennis Miracles is a well-known name in this country. Dennis Abuaje Miracles, I believe, has been targeted solely because he's an ardent critic of this government. Because, as a wife, you recall, did you read the statement that Yoko put out when Miracles was apprehended?
Yes, I did.
They said 55 million has been, quote unquote, misappropriated. When Miracles went there, when lawyer Atachian went there, we all heard their report that throughout the stay, nothing of that sort was mentioned. And they have also tried to link their former accountant of IMCCOD, one Gerald Appiah, to this. And so if it is not political persecution, because let's take this in context. Gerald Appiah, as a former accountant of this entity, was flagged by an Auditor General's report for some infractions of 540,000. And this is coming from his lawyers. He was charged. And in fact, there is a proven record that he's in the process of reimbursing the approximately 540,000. In fact, it is now left with 70,000, which is agreed with authorities that he will finish paying this money within 10 months, 70,000 cedis. So he beggars believe that Raymond Acha and his entity will put this narrative out, which has no link whatsoever. In fact, we've been informed that they were pressing this young man or gentleman to indict Dennis Miracle Abuache in this. But the guy is too firm to tell the authorities that this has nothing to do with the former executive secretary for IMCCOD. And so we believe that it is just political persecution. Now, if we move to all of it, it's quite interesting that I am only a healthcare practitioner and an engineer. But I've been sandwiched by 3 prolific lawyers. I'm not prolific yet. But I realize that you are beating people at the Supreme Court. So I have to give that to you. And I've been following your socials as well. But more worryingly, I think what the NDC government is subjecting MPP stalwarts to is a deliberate attempt to shut up critics. Look at Dennis. Dennis traveled to UK. He didn't know that there was a charge on him not to travel. He came to Ghana. Everybody knows that Dennis cannot kill a fly. Yes, you might be scared by his intelligence, his eloquence, his vociferous communications against tyranny. If you are scared of that, that is fine. But you shouldn't use the law, the rule of law, twist it to oppress your opponents, political opponents. Now, when did Iwoko start putting bail conditions on suspects? I know it's enshrined in their mandate, but when did they start doing that? And when did they start giving ambiguous, I can't find a better way to describe the kind of bail conditions that they put on political opponents. Now, when you start to make this argument, our colleagues from the other side will be quick to point to you that 8 years ago this happened, 8 years ago this happened. But let's put Iwoko in context. There is no record under Kufuor's term where Iwoko, in fact, detained a political opponent for more than a day, or even slammed these huge bail conditions on political opponents. In fact, we've had 3 leaders, KK Amwa, the former ACP Edupoku, and then Madam Tiwa. In all their 8 years tenure, they will actually do professional investigation and then put what they found before the court for the court to prosecute or even put bail conditions on you. But now it appears that Iwoko is being used as the lead gang to prosecute, harass, and, intimidate MPP members. What has been the crime of Miracles? You put a narrative out there that he's embezzled nearly 55 million. But you question the guy for over more than 48 hours, which is being stipulated in the Constitution. You've abused that 48 hours mandate, and now you are putting different narrative to make sure that people see Miracles as guilty. And the perception is out there that the guy has stolen 55 million. Whereas when he was in your custody, nothing of that sort was mentioned. And so are people wrong to claim that NDC is doing this deliberately to shut opponents up? Look at what is happening in Ghana. Today, if you are on TikTok and something that the government is doing, you are not aligned to it, you are not even comfortable to profess because you are scared by the consequences that will come. I go on TikTok and I read a lot of threats from people which I believe are aligned to NDC because they don't want you to criticize this Mahama administration. And is this the democracy that he inherited? Is this the democracy that he inherited? Is this how NDC parliamentarians marched on the plenary singing, "We will resist oppressors' rule"? They should reflect on what they are doing. And I'm glad that you are all lawyers. So I'm expecting that you say truth to power. You speak truth to power against this tyranny of Mahama's 2.2 administration.
Okay, but you have said, and when I say you, I don't mean you seated here, but the NPP has said this whole arrest politically motivated. You have been screaming, the attempt to gag persons who have been very critical of the government. But Bediako has also said that this whole investigation started or kicked off with a petition from the current executive secretary of the same institution. And a certain amount of money was uncovered. You say that even though the former accountant is voluntarily refunding the money, should be separated from Miracle's case. But if the former accountant is paying monies from the same issue, the same money that is on the table for discussion, first of all, how do we separate the two? And if the same executive secretary who is occupying the position that Dennis once occupied is the one who has petitioned Bediako, you still think that all of this is some, political attack on Dennis?
So, well, let's go back again. I am saying that from the lawyers of Miracles, from the lawyers of Gerard Appiah, those two are not together. They are separate matters that they are dealing with. Gerard Appiah is around 540,000, flagged by Auditor General's report. Separate.
Okay.
Miracles has been petitioned by the current executive director. Fine. You have written to Miracles way back in April about this issue. He was invited to Bediako. He came, he complied, he gave his report. You recorded the report. You couldn't find anything to ping him on. What you told Miracles was that you can leave. We will reach out to you if we need any other information. And so if you've invited Miracles in his own accord, as being a good citizen, abiding by the law, came under your own invitation. So the matter of discussion is that why did you arrest Miracles in that Rambo style, knowing that there is a constant conversation between you two? He hasn't run away. He was not even getting out of the country. He was actually coming back. That has been our argument.
Okay, so if Miracles is saying that Bediako never questioned him about the 55 million cedis while he was in detention.
Yes.
And Bediako is also saying they're investigating him for some 55 million. These two stories cannot be reconciled. Have you then asked Miracle what he was asked, or what amounts he was investigated for, or what sort of questions he was asked when he was?
No, we shouldn't be doing that.
No, I'm asking you, in your party, amongst yourself.
The MPP party shouldn't be asking.
So what? You don't want to know what he was just sitting in the cell?
I think it is the responsibility of the media to ask Bediako, why did you put such a false narrative out? You have put out that you've arrested Miracles because of 55 million Ghana cedis. Is that not the case? Miracles and his lawyers have come out to debunk what you've put out. Who is the onus on? The onus is on Bediako and you, the media, to find out who is telling the truth. It is not the responsibility of MPP to come out to say that this is so and so of what
I haven't said it is the responsibility, but I'm just asking that. So if that didn't come up, what then was he asked inside? So no. It will help us.
MPP did not put out a statement that Miracles has been arrested because of 55 million.
I think I don't know if you're not getting my question.
I am getting your question, but I'm saying that the question you are asking me,
you won't ask
as
Dennis.
MPP, we do not have to respond to what the Yokos have put out. If Yoko has put out a statement and the guy in contention, Miracles Abuaje, and his lawyers have come out to say that what Yoko put out, even in incarceration, under their remit, they didn't ask any question whatsoever linking to that 55 million, then I think that if you are the media, if you are an objective person, if you are neutral, you should be asking why a state institution will put out a statement which is blatantly false. I do not think that should be the mandate of MPP to come out and put these statements out. So I disagree with you.
I didn't say that it was the mandate of the NPP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just make that clear. I've never said that in any of the... I've just...
That is my understanding.
No.
Okay.
Please, don't do that.
Okay.
I just asked if you have asked your fellow NPP man what he was then questioned about or interrogated about. That's all. I didn't say you had a mandate or a responsibility to do that. Because if Kwame is my friend, if Kwame is arrested for whatever, and Kwame comes out to say that that's not, they never asked me anything about it. I'll ask Kwame, so what did they ask you while you were there? Because I wasn't there. They can then tell me, oh, they questioned me about 10 million. Or they didn't ask me anything. They were just having a chat with me. That's all I sought to find out. Not to say it was your mandate, but it's okay.
No.
Senior lawyer.
So a quick response to that is that I will still say what I'm saying.
No problem.
What we need to do is that we should be worried that a state institution such as Yoko is being used to terrorize political opponents. I think that conversation should be had, and it is more poignant than what Miracles was interviewed on.
Okay, Honorable. So, Yoko itself had said that Miracles was cooperating. He had, responded to the invitation of Yoko and come to their offices a couple times. So if he was cooperating, why did they have to arrest him in such Rambo style, as he says, or even put a stop order on him?
Yes. So
does this not point to what they are saying, that you are terrorizing their people?
So good morning to you.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal le Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.